Hey y'all, hey, I'm here. I'm back with another video. So, at this point, I think Kendrick is on his 20th back rerun of Not Like Us, and as much as I do like that song, I will not sit through a fifth or sixth time of that song. No shade, no shade. But we're here to just really talk quickly about the pop out show that was today on Juneteenth that Kendrick had. It was Kendrick, the pop out Kendrick and Friends. Today at the forum. So I'm just gonna kind of go through some of my notes to see. So in the beginning it was like DJ Head, because they broke it down by DJ Head, then Mustard, and then Kenny came out and did his own thing or whatever. So with DJ Head, he had a lot of, it was like very regional. A lot of his people, it was very West Coast, very much so West Coast artists. I didn't know who any of these people were, but it seemed like a lot of people in the stadium did. I really like the idea of that. I wish that we could do this more, where like there's like more festivals and things that are like promoted to this level, like regionally. Like again, that first set seemed, it was very West Coast, so I didn't know any of them dance songs, but I don't live on the West Coast, but it seemed like a lot of people in the stadium did. I want us to go back to having regional music. I'm serious. Like, I like that we can all share, but sometimes it's a bit frustrating that you can't, unless they're West Coast. Like, that's not true. It's hard sometimes to identify where somebody is from, and once somebody like becomes mainstream, it kind of all blends in together. So I really like the idea of that. I'm just gonna keep going through my tweets, y'all. So oh, then there was a part where, I don't know, some two Mexicans came up on that damn stage, and in the song they kept saying nigga. Now see, Kenneth, this was my problem when this was originally announced. Like, and there's nothing that he can do about this, but when he first announced that he was having this thing or whatever on Juneteenth, the first thing I thought was, bruh, the craziest part about it is that it's going to be a Juneteenth concert of white people literally screaming, we don't want to hear you say nigga no more. And it's also going to be a whole bunch of white people singing about a biracial man being a colonizer. Like, I was like, okay, we'll see how this goes. We'll see. So that was just interesting to me. Like, why are we during Juneteenth? There was a couple of things I did not like about this concert, but there's a lot of things I did like. I don't like the fact that we had people that are not black on Juneteenth on stage saying nigga. Don't like that. Then Tommy the Clown came out. If y'all don't know, there was a movie a long time ago called Rise, but that's not, if you like ever heard of that movie, but very much so from the Crumpin' era. Shout out, if I just wanted them to bring out Chris Brown so badly. Like, all they needed to do was bring out Chris, and I would have been just fucking fine, right? But Crumping, all of that stuff like that, I don't want to say it starts from there, but he was really, really big, like in the early 2000s, for that. So that was like really surprising to see him come out. And what I have in my tweet is, how can people watch this and say that African Americans don't have culture? Because y'all know they like to say that African Americans don't have culture, right? I find that interesting because the majority of the world steals from, whatever. We're going to keep going. Then the next tweet I have is just me dancing because I was having a nice time. Oh, because then DJ Mustard came out. Let me tell you something. Because the next tweet I have was, I was in college during Mustard run, and what a time. DJ Mustard's run was insane, and I was in college during that run. What a nice time to be that age. What a great, that's like not Travis Scott, that's like Travis Porter days. What a nice time that was. So I was in here fucking getting it, because I love damn near everything that Mustard do. Then randomly we went from Dom Kennedy or whatever, who came out, and then Steve Lacy came out. I said, where the hell did Steve Lacy come from? I said, okay, come on, range. Because somebody said Dom Kennedy into Steve Lacy. And I said, you see the range of our people? You see that? You see how much of a range that we as a people have? Happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth to my peoples. Then we had Roddy Ricch come out. And y'all know, a lot of people try to say that Roddy kind of like fell off or whatever, just because, I don't know, his songs ain't hitting the same way. But, you know, he did the box, obviously. But Ballin' is my favorite song. Ballin' is one of my favorite summer songs, period. Like, of all time. I love playing that song in the car when it's so nice outside and I'm pushing to the limit. I love that. Love that. Hold on, y'all. 1 second. Sorry, needed to make sure my dog was not ruining anything of mine. So yeah, so that was a nice time. Rowdy came out, he did what he needed to do, he killed it. Then obviously YG came out. Now one thing I do know about YG and Tyga is that they may not be like the biggest like mainstream wise. Like obviously they have hits that like, you know, are on Billboard and stuff, but they are Tyga and YG, those are people that I know for a fact the West Coast holds them down. Like they could literally just only perform in California and be just fine. Like they could never leave California and go crazy. I also forgot how many hits that YG really does have. I forgot about Tudu the Booty. That's my shit. I was like, is he gonna do Who Do You Love? Because obviously Drake is featured on that song, but he has to kind of do that song because it's one of his only like really big songs to a degree. So like, yeah. So I found that interesting that he decided to do that song anyway. Also, okay, so the songs that were playing during the intermission, I put in a tweet, Kenneth, you petty ass leprechaun. In these intermission songs, he did The Big Payback, James Brown. He did Microphone Fiend, Eric B. and Rakim. And then he also did Stan by Eminem. And he went from Stan to Emily by Wayne. I'm like, oh, that petty. Do you see the pettiness? Leprechaun pettiness. That Stan record, petty. So then Kendrick finally comes on stage, and the question was, is he going to perform like all of the diss tracks that he did? And I want to talk about that, right? So he starts off with Euphoria, right? Everybody's going crazy, whatever. He did really great. Like Kendrick has great breath control. Like I will say this, the first like DJ headset, those people, you could tell that they're still like really new because none of them had breath control. None of them could have breath control. All of them needed the backing track to do all of the work. But when Kendrick got up there, like you could just tell that man, that breath control, like him and Drake and Cole, like if we talk about the big three, one of the reasons why they're the big three outside of like their, you know, whatever songs and stuff like that is performance wise, they all perform very well. Like Cole's breath control, like when I went to go see Drake and Cole in February, both of their breath controls are crazy. Like compared to like a Dirk. Like Dirk did okay, but you can tell that there's levels to this. Like that's why I don't care about fuck the big three shit with me. No, I'm still calling it what it is. Those are the top three, right? Then I have Kenny Is So Tiny. Yeah, because Kendrick Lamar, he's such a tiny person. He's so tiny. Maybe that's why he be feeling like he gotta prove himself so much. Cause y'all know, right? That small, tiny men, like they be really like feeling themselves and stuff like that. Like they really be feeling like they got a point to prove. Did he say that's why he cheated on his wife all them times? Cause he was trying to like overcompensate? Okay, I don't know. What I did notice though was that for Euphoria, okay, not just Euphoria, I noticed this. Kendrick messed up a lot of his verses. Like a lot of his verses. I'm talking about for Euphoria and for Not Like Us. He messed up his verses on both songs. On Euphoria, it's like he redid the same verse twice on Euphoria. Like that was, I'm not gonna make a big deal of it, but I did notice that he fucked up his verses on both that song and Not Like Us. He couldn't remember the lyrics for whatever reason that is. Maybe he busy. Who knows? So y'all know how at the end of Euphoria, like I just said earlier, my biggest thing was that I don't know how I feel about you performing Euphoria or Not Like Us on Juneteenth. That's fine, but you're gonna be performing in probably the majority of white people. And when I'm telling you, those white people from the top of their lungs said, we don't want to hear you say nigga no more. If I'm a black person, I'm looking to the left or right. You don't want to hear say what no more? What? It's the cognitive dissonance for me throughout this. If we're taking this just from a pure entertainment level, this was a lot of fun. So much fun. I ain't have shit else to do tonight, but cook or whatever. My daughter's already sleeping. Like, it was a really, really, really nice night, just from a pure entertainment level. But if we're really getting down to the nitty gritty of this, a lot of this shit, I don't want to be that person, but a lot of it was, I don't want to say problematic, but there was a lot of side eyeing in this. The cognitive dissonance that you white people have to sit at a Kendrick Lamar's concert on Juneteenth and say, we don't want to hear you say nigga no more about a half white man. As a white person saying that out loud. Cognitive dissonance is too much for me. I couldn't take it. I couldn't even get into that moment the way I wanted to, because it's like it's a whole bunch of white people literally. There's a whole bunch of white people literally yelling that they don't want a biracial man to say nigga no more. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Then he goes into his hits and stuff like that. He does All Right. All Right is such an important song simply because it was the theme song of the Black Lives Matter protest during 2020. Like, that was the song. Anytime you went to a protest, that was the song that was being played, period. Then I think J-Rock came out, right, and they did Money Trees together. And then they did Miss Me With That Bullshit. You ain't really right, you a tourist. I love that song. My bitch been ready. Yeah, so they do that, and I was like, no, bring Free Future out so then you can do like that. But that's not what happened. Then he brought out Schoolboy Q, which I didn't even recognize Schoolboy Q because I don't really pay attention to him, so I guess he lost weight, so I didn't recognize him. And Ab Soul, because Ab Soul came out, before he came out and did that, he did 616 in LA, and he brought, I think, Ab Soul out or whatever. Now, what I did realize about 616 in LA, I'm telling you, I'm paying attention to all of this shit. For 616 in LA, if you actually listen to that song, to me, the reason why it's like the least talked about song, I think, out of all of them, and most people like me don't like it, is because to me, if 616 in LA was a regular Kendrick song, I will fuck with it. But it was supposed to be a diss song, and 1 minute and 34 seconds of a 2 minute and some change song, you did not say a word about Drake. You just rapped really well, but nothing that you said had anything to do with him. And what I realized about 616 in LA when he performed is that he pretty much rapped all the way up to the part where he disses Drake, and then he did not do that part. Then that's when it cut off, and then they got into, now I didn't really know much. Like, I know Kendrick, Schoolboy Q, Ab-Soul, J-Rock, like I know that all of them were like kind of connected to TDE, but I didn't know that they had a group together called Black Hippie. I did not know that. Like, I know all of them people are connected. I know that they were all under TDE. I know all of that. But so that was like a nice reunion for people who cared about that. So they did a whole bunch of songs and things like that. So then once they were done with that song, then Kendrick did my favorite song by him. Bitch, where you when I was walking? Now I got the club, got the whole club, clean, cool. Do y'all know how much I play King? When King Kunta first came out, like, I didn't like To Pimp a Butterfly, but when King Kunta came out, that's when they still had music videos on TV. It was towards the tail end of it, but there was still music videos. Bitch, every time that music video came on, I ran that shit back so. Oh yes you can, oh yes you can. That something's in the water. That is literally my favorite Kendrick Lamar song. So after that, I was like, oh, bitch, I could go to bed. Because y'all did King Kunta, I could go to bed. So, bitch, then all you hear is, if Pyro and Crips could all get along. What? In the streets, they go, yeah, 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 yeah. Where you from, my nigga? Come. Yes, that's the song. Although King Kunta is my favorite song, that's the song I was waiting for because I was ready to flip shit all over. Y'all ever play that in the whip? Play that song in the car and tell me it's not that song. Loved it. He went up. I got my life from that. Next tweet I have here is Amazon is killing the ankle. Amazon, let me tell you something about Amazon Prime Music. Whoever was the camera people, direction, lighting, give them a raise. The camera angles and the quality, amazing. Like, I shouldn't be surprised because they do a great job with like the Fenty fashion show every year, but amazing. Amazing. That wop, 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 wop. Them different camera angles when Kendrick was doing Not Like Us. Fire. Fire. Give that person a fucking raise. Elite camera work. So then he brings out Dr. Dre, because he was talking about, like making sure that it's like the older and the new. I figured it was gonna either be Snoop or Dre, one of those people he brought out. Obviously, a lot of people were gagged. I wasn't, because that just kind of made sense to me that Dre or Snoop would come out. I figured Dre, because I know Snoop is like more connected to like Gamma and everything over there with Drake. But that wasn't really that big of a deal for me. Yes, Dr. Dre doesn't really pop out and show niggas all like that, but I feel like you can have a good idea of when he's going to step outside. Now, let's get to the not entertaining part. Let's get to the morality part of this all. So, we just pretty much finished taking down Diddy, right? For all of his behavior. Now, I don't know Dr. Dre to be maybe as wild as this man is, but it is on record multiple times that Dr. Dre allegedly is an abuser. So the first thing I'm thinking when I'm looking at the stage is, oh, okay, we got two abusers. Because Kenny, you allegedly beat on your wife and you never spoke on that. And Dr. Dre, I wholeheartedly believe, allegedly, that you beat on Miss Chalet and your ex-wife. I believe that fully. So somebody said on Twitter, it's like, see, this is why it makes it so hard to root for you niggas, because Kendrick, you're literally on this stage. Like, the whole point of your battle with Drake was to stand on the Mr. Morale. Now, I know a lot of Kendrick fans, we're going to go back into the thing real fast, but I know a lot of Kendrick fans like, oh, if you think that Kendrick Lamar thinks that he's like such this perfect person, then you don't listen to his music. No, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that in this particular battle, you were trying to stand on the moral high ground of like, you literally said a pathetic excuse of a liar because you know Mr. Morale, saying like, I have morals and you don't. The whole point of Not Like Us is saying you are a pedophile, you are an abuser, you be doing stuff that's quote unquote unmoral. So again, this is why I said during the beef that the whole moral, you trying to stand on the moral ground, it falls flat on its face every time, because every single time that you can say something about Drake and him not being the most moral, you literally align, and not only align, but give literal people who probably wouldn't be, I guess, the most morale, quote unquote, person to stand next to. Like, you really thought that bringing Dr. Dre on this, on Juneteenth. Now I get the sentiment. The sentiment is, this is the West Coast. This is a West Coast victory. I have to bring out Dre. I get the sentiment. But if we're going off of your logic, Kenneth, right? Which is that Drake ain't shit because he don't do this, he don't do that. He's not a moral person. We're going off of your angle of this battle, right? Why the hell is he on that stage with you? The same reason, why are you letting Mexicans on the stage saying nigga on Juneteenth? But whatever, I'm going to keep it at that. But I did see a lot of people say that same thing. It's kind of like the whole thing with Kodak, when it's like, how are you calling anybody out about something when you literally have Kodak on your album? This is why I'm not with him on a moral standpoint. Whatever. Let's move on. So he comes out and he does, I don't know, Dre Day or whatever. And then right before he leaves, Kendrick was like, don't you have something to say? And he goes say, shh, I see dead people, which is the beginning Not Like Us. So then he do Not Like Us. Now, the first time he do Not Like Us, he does it all the way up to A minor. Then he pauses. He does it again up to A minor. Then he pauses and he does it again after A minor. And then I think that third time around is when he like pretty much goes through the entire song. Then he says a few words, he does the song again, and then I think he invited like everybody who performed up on this stage or whatever, and he was like, this is not about a diss song or nothing like that. This is about the fact that there's all of these different gang members and stuff like that that's on the stage, which I will say that was very like great to see, that all of these different gang members from all these different sides, whatever, could literally share a stage and act like they got some damn sense. God bless y'all, because everybody know the West is the wild, wild West, for sure, right? So they go ahead and they take a picture, and then, once the picture's over, he does the song one more time, whatever. So I think he did the song like maybe 5 times. I clicked off after the 5th time, because like, I get it. Like, you're trying to ride your high. I get it. But I personally don't want to hear that song that many times. It's a good song. The 3rd time, cute. I'm over it by the 5th. We get it. You won. have a nice time, right? So let me see. What I have here, my last couple of tweets says, oh, okay. So I want to talk about Meet the Grams, right? Because I want to make sure that I didn't miss him performing Meet the Grams, because I just want to see. I want to make sure, because I don't want to have him had like did Meet the Grams, and then I'm gonna sit here and give a whole explanation about why I think he didn't. Okay, so he didn't do Meet the Grams, right? Okay, yeah. So, in my opinion, I think the reason why he did not do Meet the Grams, and I don't care, I'll die on this damn hill by myself. I truly believe this is why he didn't do Meet the Grams. As I said in my other videos, I think the strategy of dropping Meet the Grams right after Family Matters was a good strategy, because it kind of neutralized the like real sting of Family Matters. If he would have let Family Matters like live, like let it have time to breathe, more people would have been leaning on Drake's side at that particular point. But him dropping Meet the Grams pretty much kind of neutralized it, because people were excited that he had dropped immediately. And I don't give a fuck what nobody says, because I have screenshots to prove too of what everybody was hyping up, especially like YouTubers. People were hyping up on that song the fact that he said that Drake had a daughter. All of the tweets was Drake has another daughter, Drake has a kid, Drake has a kid, Drake has a kid. If you go to all of the YouTubes of people who were reacting, the screen normally says Drake has another kid, Drake's exposed for another daughter, because that was kind of the biggest shock of that. And then when Drake came out and said, I don't have a daughter, if y'all could I'll put up $1 million if y'all could drop the kid in front of me. That's why, to me, he dropped Not Like Us right after that. Because if you would have let me, real shit, I don't care what anybody says about Meet the Grams. If Kendrick would have literally let Meet the Grams sit, like even if he would have like dropped it right after Family Matters, right? If he would have let Meet the Grams sit and did nothing at all, like, and kind of waited for Drake to come back, I'm telling you, that song would not be hyped up the way it is. Because at that point, people would be like, well, if he has a daughter, we need to see it. And it's clear, obviously, that Drake does not have, I don't want to say it's clear, but it seems to be that Drake does not have another kid. So that takes out a lot of the stink of that diss, which is why, in my opinion, he dropped Not Like Us maybe the day after, because he was stepping on his own record. I don't care what nobody says. He stepped on his own record. And the reason he did not, in my opinion, perform Meet the Grams has nothing to do with the fact that it was a slower song. It's because I think he understood that song, as much as people want to praise it, that song was a mistake. Strategically, it was a mistake. It was good. It was good, right? It was good in the sense of it neutralized Family Matters. But it wasn't a good play long term, which is why he had to step on it with Not Like Us. So, to me, him not even performing, like not even touching Meet the Grams, when a lot of his fan base feels like that was the strongest song out of everything, to me, says enough. You can't sit on stage and now do a whole song. Now, unless he did it, he cut off the part where he talked about the daughter. But you can't do Meet the Grams all the way through with the daughter verse, knowing damn well that part's not true. I don't care what anybody says. Not Like Us was a record put out to step on Meet the Grams. Because if he would have let Meet the Grams live and rock right after Family Matters, like once people would have got out of the shock of, oh, it was a couple of minutes after, and would have really listened to both records, I am telling you, it would have been a mistake to let Meet the Grams sit and let Drake come back. Because Drake wouldn't have came back with Heart Part 6. He would have came back with something a whole lot harder. But he couldn't really say anything, like once Not Like Us dropped or whatever. Then in my notes I have like, and I'm still a Drake stan, but iconic is iconic. And that's a fact. Like I'm a Drake fanned out. But I have to give credit where credit is due. Kendrick killed that. Like, it was great, from a Juneteenth perspective. Like, my only problem with Kendrick, and that's okay because I don't look at him like that, so it's less with him and more of his fans, is I don't hold him up as like some all right, not all right, but like some almighty savior of hip hop. I don't look at him like that. And a lot of his fans do. I don't hold him in that regard. I think he's a really great rapper. I think he brings, a lot, to the culture and things like that. But I'm not holding him on the pedestal that maybe like some of his fans do. And the same thing that I say with Drake is like, although I'm a Drake fan, I'm a very much so like, I'm not like a delusional Drake fan. I can literally list out all of the terrible things about that man that I know for a fact. So that's why there's certain things that he do that doesn't really faze me, that don't affect me, because I know how this nigga is, just from the outside at least. Like, Drake is a cultural appropriator. Yes. He has self-identity problems. Yes. He has daddy issues. Yes. He has issues with trying to figure out, him being American and being Canadian versus being black and being white. Yes, he has all of those things. He's a fucking womanizer. He's sometimes a person that's like trying to pretend to be somebody that he's not. Those are all things that I can gladly admit about him and still say that I like his music, and that's just a fact. With Kendrick, I like some of Kendrick's music. I don't like like I said, the morality stance that he kind of took in this battle, because if we're not looking at it from an entertainment standpoint, then to me everything that Kendrick says about Drake falls flat, because there's 1,010 things that I can point back to you and say, well, what about this? 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 But from a pure entertainment standpoint, not getting too deep into it, yes, what a nice time. And then I also have a tweet saying like, I also have a tweet that says, and the best part about this is you can watch this concert, have a nice time, and literally get right off of this stream and listen to Drake, and then right after that listen to Cole. We need to be thankful that we have all of these talented ass rappers right now, because something that I saw somebody say, and I've been thinking about this for a while, is like, who in rap, give it like 5 to 10 years from now, what other rappers do you guys see carrying the mantle? Like, who is gonna be like, how we say we have the big three? Who's the big one? Like, when we get to 2030, who's gonna be in a position that Drake, Kendrick, or Cole was in like 2011 or 2016? That's the scary part about all of this. And it's like, obviously you can't bring everybody with you, so I'm gonna enjoy myself. But I'm telling you right now, a lot of people are taking, y'all are taking, what's the word I'm looking for? Not advantage. Y'all are not taking advantage of the fact, or being grateful of the time that we're actually in. Like, we're in some iconic, historic shit right now, and everybody is so quick to try to throw this person away, whether it's Kendrick or Drake or Cole. Y'all are so quick to try to dethrone these people and throw them away, but then have no fucking replacement. If Drake goes away, like, let's just say Drake does exactly what y'all want to do. Let's just say he just goes away. Like, he just never makes any more music. Do you know how much of a void, and not just hip hop, in music period, there will be? There will be such a fucking void. The same thing if Cole stops dropping. The same thing, although Kendrick goes a long time without dropping, I do think that there will be a void that he feels that will now be gone. And it's even felt sometimes when Kendrick takes long breaks, which is the biggest critique of him. So it's like, y'all want to tear all of these people down, Kendrick, Drake, and Cole, but you take all three of them niggas away, who do we have left? Like, of quality and substance, who do we have? Who do we have at that level? We don't have anybody else. So, again, I think this was a nice little, I think all this was a victory lap for Kendrick. That's all it was. I didn't really take it much of a way. I don't really think it changes much. I think it was a very, like, iconic moment. That's what I think. I think it was a really iconic moment. I think it was him like trying to solidify, like, I won this shit. I'm really like one of those niggas in this game, because look at what I did. And I'm not mad at him. Take your little victory lap. Do what you gotta do. Now, going forward, I think that for Drake, I think Drake needs to pretty much tuck away for the summertime. I think the summer is a dub for him. It doesn't matter what Drake puts out. Drake could put out the best song in the world. Nobody is going to be... People are like really easily manipulated mentally. So because like right now the hot thing to do is to not like Drake, no matter what he puts out, people are gonna clown it. Now mind you, people are still gonna listen, because he put out that damn terrible song with Sexy Red and everybody ran to listen. He put out that damn Wagwan Delilah and everybody went to go listen. So it's not that people are not going to listen. That's not gonna happen. It ain't enough. It ain't enough times that Kendrick could play that song that people are not going to not listen to Drake. It's not gonna happen, right? But I do think that right now I think he needs to tuck away for the summertime. Just go Real shit, somebody said this. When's the last time Drake had a summer off? When's the last time Drake had a summer off? I think this is the best time for really Drake to take a break. Like, he might not he's a Scorpio. He's like me. He's a petty Scorpio. So the petty Scorpio in us will not allow us to just take this L lying down and to tuck away, because it's going to feel like we tucking our tail and we running away. But I think actually for the longest time, a lot of the biggest critique of Drake is that Drake probably needs to go away. Like how we say Kendrick needs to be more active, we think Drake needs to be less active. He needs to tuck away, chill, give us about 2 years. And when we mean 2 years, not just an album, because he'll go a long time with an album. We're talking about nothing. Don't give us no features, give us nothing. So when it's time for you to come back, people are always going to listen. Drake could say that he's dropping the album next week and people will listen. Kendrick or not, people are going to fucking listen, right? But I think he will have more time to kind of recalibrate, to figure out like his sound or the new direction that he's going in, because he is a grown-ass man. I don't expect to hear the same Drake when he was 20 something that I do like closer to 40, right? He needs to tuck in. I think he needs to take the summer off, tuck in, try to recalibrate, and then maybe come back like sometime next year. Really, I think he should take 2 years off. But I understand why he wouldn't, because in his head it's going to be like, well, everybody is going to feel like Kendrick ran me off and I tucked away and I ran away, when that's not what it was. I feel like Drake is going to drop in Q4. I think he is going to let the summer. I think he had a feeling like, you know what, I'm gonna do something this summer, but the way everything is trending, I think he'll fall back this summer. And I think Q4 we'll see him pop up again, although I don't agree, and I think he needs to just sit his ass down. I think that's what he's gonna do. Well, I have to say it was a nice time. I had a lot of fun. Kendrick did his big one, as the girls would say. Yeah, he did great. He did great. Like I said, shout out to him. Shout out to the West Coast. It's a really, really, really big victory, specifically for the West Coast. I think the West Coast is feeling like obviously way more excited about it than anywhere else in the country or whatever, right? Because this is y'all day. This is y'all day. But y'all get in the comments, tell me what y'all thought about the concert, and I'm out. Bye.